So James Bond Skyfall is coming out next week. The next episode in the James Bond saga, I guess you could call it, with Daniel Craig. And in this particular movie, there's actually two huge endorsements. One of which is Heineken, but whatever. The second of which, I can't take this seriously, is the Sony Xperia T. And now every listener of this podcast is going, what? What is that?
Random Europe phones. It's an Android phone.
It's not even a Europe phone.
Well, I mean, they're big on like Sony phones in Europe.
That's
whole
true.
Sony Ericsson thing. Xperia, that line.
Phones, yeah.
Sony makes phones?
Right?
What?
The Xperia Play, that's the last Sony phone I knew about.
Yeah. It's
just because
funny.
it was Minecraft.
So yeah, James Bond uses an Android phone.
Hey, and drinks Heineken instead of
Money Penny. Does this have jelly bean?
Oh man. Oh, that's great. No, at least he doesn't use an iPhone, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not even gonna get
He's gonna run into let's hope he has a good camera on that phone, because I'm sure he needs it.
Sony's cameras are notoriously mediocre.
He's got to take pictures of secret documents and stuff. Wait, what?
Oh yeah, like if he recorded like POV,
are you kidding me?
POV style
James Bond
sex tapes on his Sony Xperia T. All he needs an iPhone for that.
Yeah,
there's an app for that. POV cam sex tape app.
Oh man, now optimized for iOS 6.
Yeah, now
0.01.
Yeah, 0.1.
Yeah.
That's that comes stock with the new iOS camera, the POV sex tape app.
I don't know if James Bond is a sex tape kind of guy.
I think he is. I think
really?
I mean, think about like how open he is about his sex life.
That's true.
I mean, well, he can't be so open because of his like role in MI6, but like within the MI6 community, he's pretty dang open about his sex life.
Money Penny, watch this video.
Maybe we'll recreate it sometime. Hey everyone, and welcome to the TechBuzzed podcast, your raw and slightly inebriated look into the world of technology. I'm Nick Smock.
I'm Ryan Spletzer.
And I'm Lucas Ritter. This week, actually, we're going to have a new segment. Hopefully we can get some more responses, but this week we got a couple of really good questions to answer where basically just it's Ask TechBuzzed. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Just we'll fill you in more on it later. But yeah, just giving you a heads up, that'll be in the podcast today.
Yes.
All right, let's get started off on our topics. First topic was actually brought up last week. However, there were some roadblocks, I guess you could call it.
Well, yeah. So Google was supposed to have their hurricane. They were supposed.
They were supposed to have their hurricane.
They were supposed to have their hurricane of announcements on Monday, but an actual hurricane named Sandy prevented that from happening.
Superstorm.
So, despite what I thought was going to happen, I thought they were just going to postpone it for a little bit.
I found this really strange.
Instead, they just decided to announce everything anyways.
Just over a blog post.
Yeah.
Like a Google blog post.
A blog post.
It was so random.
A blog post and a Verge exclusive.
Which, honestly, I'm not surprised, but I'm also really happy that The Verge got this exclusive.
Yeah. It's because Josh and Matthias are like...
They're boys.
Buddies at the hip.
Which is kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone knows Josh as a... Well, everyone that knows Josh knows him as a large Apple lover.
Well,
I really thought he was a Windows Phone fan.
Josh thinks Windows is poison.
Josh's response to that would be, no, I'm just the fan of the best thing out there right now.
Thank you for that insight. So, regardless of whether they had an official announcement, well, they did have an official announcement. Regardless of whether they broadcasted said official announcement, they did a blog post and they talked about a few things. So let's get things started with the Nexus 4.
Oh, this phone.
This phone is
really fast.
it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
It is beautiful.
It's
Really?
I will say.
Yes, it
looks great to
okay.
me.
I'm okay
It's
with it.
made by LG. Let's start things off with that. It's made by LG, and no one has ever seen an LG Android phone in the wild. I promise you, no one. And the problem with that is LG has beautiful hardware, but their software is lacking, which really diminishes the amount of Android.
Oh, that's true.
phones you see in the wild.
What's their overlay called on top of
LG
Android?
junk software.
LG Junk Soft.
Oh, this
Part
is gonna
2.
bother me.
It doesn't even matter because
Yeah.
it's garbage and no one likes it. But the Nexus 4, made by LG, has stock Jelly Bean.
Very appealing.
Very, very appealing.
Stock Jelly Bean 4.2.
Correct. And I think it's just going to be just a gorgeous phone. I'm really
It looks
excited
gorgeous.
For this.
I mean,
But it doesn't have LTE.
okay.
before we get to that,
Yeah, we're gonna
let's go through a few more details about this.
So let's get some specs on the Nexus 4.
While you're pulling those up, just the general feel of this phone. I mean, it looks like the Galaxy Nexus
Right.
that I would have
Yeah.
wanted.
And on
From
top
the
of that,
get-go.
it has glass front, glass back, kind of like the iPhones
Right.
do.
So I
Worried
can
me
break
at
it all the
first.
time.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Josh already broke
He
his.
broke
in
it
his
during the review.
Yeah, because
on The Verge.
that here we go, Apple. Get it. Glass on the front, glass on the back. No go.
Or at least
That's why the new iPhone 5 doesn't have glass in the back.
Exactly.
here's my problem with glass on the back. You're obviously going to drop it on the back very
Right.
easily. Make the bevel in front high enough so that it doesn't have the chance to
Yeah.
hit the glass.
exactly.
Um,
Well, no, that actually doesn't matter.
Really?
Most iPhones, and I'm assuming going to be Nexus 4s, actually break when the phone hits straight up and down because you cause that pressure on the glass
On the side?
or on the side or just straight up and down when it hits like the outside of the phone.
yeah.
And what it does is it creates that on impact it pushes that glass down and then rapidly expands it, and that's what it causes to crack. If you drop an iPhone flat on the screen, unless you're dropping it on concrete or something, it probably won't break. But when you drop it and it lands, not necessarily perfectly, but on its bottom or on its side or on its top, that's what causes it to break because it forces that all that pressure on the glass as it compresses when it hits impact,
That makes sense.
and then it cracks.
This actually makes me want to start up a section. You know how you have all the sites that do the drop test on iPhones and all
Yes.
different kind of phones, and then the will it blend test. I want to do a microwave test.
In microwave iPhones,
Yeah,
I'd
just
like to do that.
microwave everything.
This is slightly tangential, but I was on a plane once where the front pilot's window cracked during a flight.
And I mean, what did
They had to land the plane in Minneapolis.
Oh wow, really?
Unexpectedly. Yeah, and so we were on our way out to Seattle from Detroit, and they were like,
You didn't get very far then.
No, we were over Minneapolis, and they were like, our front windshield just cracked. We're gonna land right now. I was like, what? So, but basically, the heat and pressure, something was wrong with
Yeah.
the heating of the glass, and
That
it just
makes sense,
Cracked.
yeah.
It was a huge spider web. It was just really freaky.
That is crazy.
But yeah,
I've got the specs on the Nexus 4 here.
all right.
So we're looking at a 4.7-inch display. And the resolution is 768 by 1280, which I'm actually surprised at.
Why?
Surprised how?
I don't know. I
In what
kind of
way?
just I kind of just figured it to be just 720.
Oh, so basically, it's the same pixel.
It's just a little
height,
bit. It's a little bit wider than,
But
yeah,
slightly
yeah,
wider.
It's a little bit wider,
which is okay. With
yeah,
me.
which isn't bad.
I actually think that
Yeah, that's not a big
ratio, that screen ratio, that where it's slightly. So basically, I have my Galaxy Nexus in front of me. I actually like a ratio that's slightly larger than 16:9.
But the LG thing about this is the display. It has an IPS. It has an IPS LCD display, which is unbelievable,
gorgeous,
and at 318 PPI, which at that point, like everyone has always said, at that point, I mean, PPI doesn't
you're at
matter.
that point where it's well past
undiscernible.
the retina point.
It's undiscernible, the pixels, but an IPS display. This is the reason there is actually no LTE on the phone.
Because of the display?
Yes.
What? Oh,
because it's only got a 2100.
I disagree.
It only has a 2100 milliamp battery. My phone has a 2100 milliamp battery, and it drains battery.
You want to
like
know
a
the sad
mofo.
thing? I had to buy an extended battery to go. So on my G Nex, it came with an 1800 milliamp, and I bought the extended 2100 milliamp battery.
Okay, but whoa. Okay. On this, like, your phone, you've got the
Thunderbolt.
And then
By
Ryan's got the
HTC.
G Nex. Both of those phones come from before a time when they had the LTE chip integrated on the like actual processor die.
On the board.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, like they had to solder on a separate chip just for LTE, which soaked up a ton of power. Where like with my phone right now, I've got I honestly don't even know the battery specs on it.
I think it's like 27.
That seems high, but it very well could be. I'm not sure.
It's more than 2100, but less than 31.
I've got a Galaxy S3 on Verizon, and it will last a day and a half if I'm not using it like crazy.
But you don't have an IPS display. IPS displays draw so much power.
It's just an LCD display with in-plane switching.
In-plane switching draws so much power, and who was it? Was it Larry David? No.
It's what the One X has.
Who was it? No, it doesn't have an IPS display. It has near IPS display, but it doesn't have a true in-plane switching display. This is like, besides I think Huawei might have an IPS display on their phone. But it just draws so much power. The way an IPS display operates.
Yeah, it does. Granted, I'm reading Wikipedia, but the One X has a 4.7-inch IPS display.
What's the battery size on it?
1800 milliamps.
Wow, I'm surprised at that.
Well, the One X, one of the complaints about it is it does have a little bit lacking on the battery life, but
this phone also has 15 and a half hours of talk time.
Well, and the thing is with the Nexus 4 is that I think that the main reason is carriers that they didn't have LTE on it.
If you're on T-Mobile, like if you get any other phone besides the Nexus 4, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not even joking.
No, it is the best phone on T-Mobile right now.
T-Mobile does not have LTE. They have and this phone actually supports pentaband HSPA plus.
Isn't it like $279?
$279
for the phone?
For the phone?
No,
yeah.
$299.
$299, yeah.
Okay, so you're paying $300 for a phone without a plan, like unlocked, no plan.
Great deal. Number one.
Yeah, number one, great deal, and then you throw it on there.
It supports pentaband HSPA plus, which technically supports 42 megabits download speeds, which you're never gonna get.
Yeah,
but T-Mobile also supports. I don't think AT&T's HSPA plus supports supports pentaband.
Oh no,
HSPA. And so if you're on T-Mobile and you don't buy this phone, you're stupid.
I mean, it would be the best phone you could use on T-Mobile.
This phone, it's got a quad-core 1.5 gigahertz S4, which in my opinion is the best mobile processor out there right now.
But like, just to touch on that, like, how beautiful is it that you can just buy an unlocked phone? And we're on Verizon right now. If I wanted to go get a new phone on Verizon,
you're gonna pay $700 for an unlocked phone.
For an unlocked phone. But not only that, if I just wanted to get a new phone, period, I could pay $300 plus a stupid ass upgrade fee of like $30.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, whereas if I go buy this phone and I take it to AT&T or T-Mobile, I just like, here's my phone, activate it. You know, no upgrade fees. I'm assuming
that's CDMA for you though.
Well, that's just Verizon BS for
Verizon.
But
so then on top of the Nexus 4. So if you're on T-Mobile, buy the Nexus 4. It's going to be a great phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we all agree on that.
Yes.
On top of that, they also came out with a tablet, the Nexus 10.
Yeah.
Who would like to talk a little bit about the Nexus 10?
So
Ryan?
the Nexus 10, 10-inch display, obviously, a little over 10 inches. Very high res. I think it actually has a higher pixel density screen
It's
than
300
the
PPI.
iPad,
It's
the
300
third generation
It's
iPad.
300 PPI. And the iPad is like 260.
Yep.
It's
Again-
not a big enough difference to really care. I'll
No,
be honest.
exactly.
Again, like we've mentioned before, not that really matters because even at 260 on my iPad, I can't see any pixels on
It's
it.
undiscernible.
So, I mean, bottom line, it looks great. It's kind of got this like the kind of same kind of look and feel as the Nexus 7, but kind of blown up bigger.
You know-
but like with that kind of like faux leather
Yeah,
back feel.
I have like
rubbery.
I have one beef with the Nexus 10, and it's in its appearance. And oh god, I'm gonna sound like an Apple fanboy, but the bevel on this device is so junk.
I should pull up
It's
some
huge.
pictures.
It's gigantic. There's so much black space around the display.
Oh,
And
there is a lot.
I hate it. It looks like a kid's tablet. It looks like something you would buy like your 5-year-old.
It does look kind of like, I will say, it doesn't look very natural to me. Like it doesn't.
No, and it's got that weird like rounded.
It's not.
Like,
yeah, it's
super
not like
rounded.
straight. It doesn't have straight sides
No.
to it like the iPad does. I
me
mean,
take a look at this.
iPad obviously has rounded corners,
Right.
But it
Rounded
like
rectangles.
right.
I'm patenting that.
But it like the sides on the Nexus 10 are like slightly curved, which it just kind of looks strange.
It's weird. It's just a weird looking tablet, but it looks great. And the battery on this, 9,000 milliamp.
That's a huge
Damn.
battery.
9,000. They're
So-
talking standby time 21 days.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's nice.
And that's honestly what you want out of your tablet.
It has
like,
an Exynos 5 in it too, which is
Ooh.
a really nice processor, a really nice tablet processor.
ARM A15.
my
finally.
Yeah,
my
exactly.
only well, I have a few hang-ups. First of all, the design, I'm not so crazy about
Oh god, not at all.
the sides. I mean, this thing just from the moment I saw it, like, I mean, I was watching the video on The Verge where Matthias was trying to sell this so hard. Like, he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you want this so you can grip it with one hand," and it's just like,
Which I
Yeah,
mean,
but-
you can, but it's ugly.
it doesn't look great. It
It
looks,
looks like a kid's tablet.
it, like, here's the back of it compared to the Nexus 7. First
Yeah.
of all, I think the Nexus 7 looks better comparatively
right.
to that. This looks like it's like a part of a car dashboard or
Right,
something.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
kind of a
Yeah.
funky back.
It looks like
look.
it popped out of something.
Yeah.
Like it's like an external like little tablet. Like my printer has like a little external tablet.
Right,
thing.
right.
And that's what it looks like. One of the biggest beefs I have with this is where is the micro SD support? There's no micro SD
Oh, I didn't even
slot.
think about that. Really?
This is a tablet. I can understand, I understand kind of, sort
Well-
of, why phones are dropping their micro SD card slots.
The
because
cloud, man.
Because carriers are trying to push the cloud, but they're also trying to push these limited data plans, which is just like bogus to me. But on a tablet, why is there no micro SD
Well,
card
there's really
support?
no excuse. You could fit that in so easily.
Oh, there's tons of room to fit a tiny little micro SD card port.
Now that I think of it, there wasn't one on the Nexus 7 either.
Mhm.
I mean,
Now, I can understand there not being one on the Nexus 7
just because of size.
because of size and the primary function of a Nexus 7. I hate to say it, but it's a glorified e-reader.
Yeah, I mean, it's
However, a Nexus 10 is not. A Nexus 10 is something that if I owned one, I'd lay back in my bed, throw on a movie, and watch it on my tablet.
Right.
And if I don't have a micro SD card slot, where am I going to store all these movies?
you're gonna have to stream
It's
them
only
over
got-
your
it's only-
network.
it's only got
Yeah.
16 gigs of storage.
Wait, it only has 16 gig
I thought
of
it came in
storage?
8
I
and
think-
16 models.
Well, but still,
wait.
16 gig max.
No, 16 or 32.
It
I
might,
thought.
but still, regardless.
The
Yeah.
Nexus 4 starts at
When
8
you're
gig.
when you're
Oh, okay.
when you are like the quality of movies I watch, I'm looking at like a gig each, plus your apps, plus your operating system, plus any music you have on the device, It takes up a lot of space.
It does.
Like I have a 32 gig SD card in my phone,
Right.
and I'm running low on storage space.
Now, okay. Question: what do you all have on there?
It's mainly well, most of the storage goes to, which is another reason I'm kind of upset about this. I back up my apps religiously.
Okay.
And it's like, if I have a tablet, I'm going to do the same. Like, I
Okay.
back up my apps once a week. I overwrite the backups.
Yeah.
But I back up all my apps, all my settings. I use Titanium backup.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, if I didn't have my SD card, I'd never be able to do that.
right.
Ever. I mean,
Okay.
I back up to box.net because I have like 55 gigs of storage on box.net.
How did you get that?
Actually, box.com now, when the Box app came out for Android, they had a promotion going for like a week, and if you like signed in to your box, it was box.net at that time. If you signed into your box.net account on an Android app, they were just like, hey, 50 gigs of storage, and I already had 5 gigs to begin with. So I'm at like 55 gigs of storage.
Nice.
So like I back everything up to my Box account, but I still back it up locally because like the only reason I back it up to my Box account is because I have tons of space.
Yep.
And it's a backup that I know will never disappear. My SD card could go corrupt any day, but when I'm restoring, when I install a new ROM or I just like clean sweep my whole entire phone, it's nice for me to just grab that off of local storage because it's quicker. Like restore my apps off of local storage.
Yeah.
It takes up most of my spot, but the rest is like music, my podcast, which I actually delete once a week. I have them set to auto delete once a week, and movies.
So music, podcasts, and movies.
Mostly media because I can't stream anymore. I had to drop my Spotify subscription because Verizon decided to say, "See you later, unlimited data. You're never going to see that again."
That is really crappy.
It's obnoxious.
I'm just begging my family not to upgrade phones.
That's what screwed me.
Yeah.
I can understand the music thing because I have all my music in Google Music, but I have downloaded a lot of it to my phone.
Yeah, when I'm on Wi-Fi,
okay.
when I'm on Wi-Fi, I cache playlists.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
you can only do that for so many.
Right.
so
I do
many,
it for the same reason
albums.
as you because of the the limited data
Oh,
plan.
it's obnoxious. You know what? I absolutely. I just hate carriers because of that. It's the most infuriating thing in my life right now.
The saddest part about it is that it's not the fact that it's not so much the fact that I have a limited data plan. Really, at the end of the day, it's the fact that 2 gigs is not enough for what I want to do in a month.
No,
Yeah.
I push. I'm already pushing that right now, and I allot myself 2.5 gigs
Right.
every month, and my bill or plan updates on the 15th of every month.
Mm-hmm.
I am pushing 2.1 gigs right now, and it is the 4th of the month.
Oh.
I've been.
Yeah.
I
was gonna say I'm at 1.34 already.
When I'm at school, I don't normally use Wi-Fi because it's a pain because I have to log into their network and stuff.
Every 5 beeping minutes.
Yeah, it's like every like 20 some minutes.
Yeah,
like
no, I'm exaggerating, but yeah.
If you're inactive on the network,
Hey Delta, if you're
you
listening,
have to,
fuck your internet.
if you're inactive for like 20 minutes, if you're inactive for like 20 minutes, you have to relog back into the network. And I've found myself recently like setting up a Tasker. Have you ever heard of the app Tasker?
I have.
It's a good app. I use it. So when I have my GPS on and I get within Delta's proximity, Wi-Fi kicks on. And then when I get outside of, I don't know, it's like a quarter of a mile or like I don't know, 500 yards or something, it turns off. Same with my house, because it's like I know now I have to use Wi-Fi wherever available. Even when I go to a bar with Wi-Fi, I turn it on because it's like I cannot afford to use extra data when I don't have
ridiculous.
to. It's just like the biggest annoyance ever.
Well, like I think the worst part about it is like it's for me, it's that 2 gig number. It's like holding me to 2 gigs is really hard for me. Like even if it were 3, it'd be so much better because I think like seriously, like I remember when I used to have like unlimited data on Verizon and I like tried to push it certain months and I could get it up to like 2.5 or 3, but tough. I would never get it like up much past that. But 2 is just low enough.
I'm a freak of nature.
When I had unlimited data, I made it my goal to use as much data as possible in a month. I was like torrenting stuff, like like MKV movies at like 10 gigs, just to be like, F you, Verizon. So, you know what? I'm going to apologize to everyone on Verizon. It's probably my fault that you have limited data plans.
No, it's not. No. It's not their fault. It's Verizon.
I used to get text messages from Verizon, and they're like, we're going to throttle your bandwidth.
No, it's Verizon being anti-competitive and just falling in line with what AT&T was doing for a long time before that.
Everyone's doing it. We can't blame just Verizon either.
No, exactly. It's not everyone. It's AT&T and Verizon because they have a stranglehold on the mobile market in the U.S.
Yeah.
Who's going to compete with either of those companies? No one.
It's an oligopoly.
Exactly.
There you go.
All right.
Or duopoly, I should.
Duopoly, yeah. Well, I mean, technically, it could also be an oligopoly, but
yeah, I mean,
because there's more than one.
A
company.
duopoly is a form of an oligopoly.
Exactly.
Let's hit on Android 4.2.
Android 4.2,
real quick.
which is I have not played with Jelly Bean at all. Have you?
I have it on my Galaxy Nexus and my 7.
Wait. 4.1 Jelly Bean or 4.2 Jelly Bean?
Well, he's played with 4.1 Jelly Bean.
Okay, yeah, because I have 2, but yeah.
You have 4.2?
No. On my when I had my G-Nex, I had played with Jelly Bean 4.1, not 4.2.
Okay, so you both played with Jelly Bean. Yes. I have not. Thoughts on 4.2? Both of you.
From what I've seen,
it looks awesome. Quick settings look amazing.
I mean, great, like improvements that I like very much want, but like nothing that's like
it's not groundbreaking.
Nothing like
No, but it's not a groundbreaking update.
No, it's not supposed to be.
It's a we're gonna update some things.
It's not key lime pie.
Yeah,
right.
We're gonna update some things in Jelly Bean that need to be updated, and we're gonna make them good.
No one thing that I have to have. I mean, there's a new quick settings
that looks
bar,
awesome,
which looks really handy.
What? It looks awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, for forever. I mean, we've been kind of like hacking this like thing. You know, most phones have that little widget where it's like that 5-row thing where it's like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and whatever else, GPS, and you can turn all those things on and off. That's kind of just built into the phone now. So if you do 2 finger swipe down or 1 finger swipe down and then hit the quick settings, you have this like 3x3 grid of quick settings.
Quick settings is activated on 4.2 by bringing down your notification tab and then pulling down again.
Oh, again?
Yes.
I thought there was a little icon in the corner.
The first test I saw of it was you pulled down your top down notifications and then you pulled it down again while your notification window was open.
Oh, I see.
And then it opened up your quick settings tab.
That would actually make sense because I'm 4.1 right now. If I pull mine down, up in the upper right there is settings.
Yeah, you just hit the little settings button.
Which I've heard rumors of, and I don't want to verify whether these are true or not, but I've heard rumors that the quick settings are going to be customizable in stock.
That'd be really nice.
That would be very nice.
Yeah, I guess what I'm going to say about 4.2 is I think it's a great update. It's not going to be a big change in use, I don't think, but I think it's just a good update. Polishing off 4.1, and that's why it's still Google's still calling it Jelly Bean, but 4.2.
I think
it's just polishing Jelly Bean, which Jelly Bean was a huge update in polish on ICS, which ICS was still a great update coming from 2.3, but like it really needed the amazing polish that Jelly Bean did to it.
I heard that in 4.2 too, they're gonna improve battery life. They're gonna find ways to optimize battery life.
Always like that, yeah.
Who doesn't want that?
I had one point about 4.2. What was it? Google Now.
Oh,
So-
yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be great.
Here's the interesting thing, though. Some of that stuff has already shown up on my phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So the packages stuff, like when you get an email from Amazon or whatever that your package is shipped,
or like UPS or
UPS
FedEx or whatever.
all that stuff has kind of just started congregating in my Google Now
That's
on
cool.
4.1. And then also like check-in locations. Like when I was driving through Midland today, I pulled out my phone when I arrived at my friend's house, and it like showed me all these check-in locations of places I had like driven past on the way there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Places where it thought I might have been at, so that I could easily check in
That's
at one of those places.
Now, are you checking in through Foursquare, Facebook?
I'm pretty sure you're checking in through Google Plus or something weird
Oh,
like that.
God.
So I mean, who
Okay.
wants to
Google
check in
Plus
through
has
Google
No,
Plus?
but that's
check-ins.
that's the really nice thing
I'm sure
about
they do.
Google Now, I think, is that it's something. But this is like my problem with Google. Actually, is like it always feels like they're kind of using their users as beta testers for some of these things, especially in the Nexus program. Like, which makes no sense. But like Google Now in 4.1, it was fun to dink around with. I didn't really use it very much, but like the promise there that they have for that, it sounds amazing. If they follow through on what they say they want to do with it, Google Now will be awesome.
When I updated to an AOSP ROM on my phone, Google Now was actually the most annoying thing about it. Because I am an avid baseball watcher. I love
Oh,
baseball.
God.
You would get tons of teams.
I love baseball, and I especially love the Cubs. And I also I like keeping track of the Tigers just because they're a local team. And so like it would update me every 5 minutes about every Cubs and Tigers baseball game. But then even after the game was over, I would be like, oh, I've seen this notification that, the Tigers won. They beat the Rays, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I'd be like, all right, I'd like throw the card away off to the side or whatever. And then it would pop up like 3 hours later. And I'm just like, I already know. You already showed me this. But it would never go away.
Yeah, no, it's...
I'm sorry.
certain parts of it are slightly annoying. I would say... For some reason, Google Now thinks I like the Miami Heat, even though I've never searched for the Miami Heat at all, ever.
Did you ever search for like Miami?
I don't think so.
Or basketball?
No.
Or
I might have searched for basketball or something.
like NBA something.
I didn't search for
because
the
they
NBA.
were the champions last year. So maybe you searched for something related to basketball, and they were. Just
If I searched for them, it would have been like back when they won the. Did they win the championship?
Yeah.
It would have been back when they won the championship.
as long as you had like that option turned on to let Google like check out what you're searching, then it'll show up.
But I mean, I searched for that months ago.
Well, yeah, but if that option is like already on when it came out, like when they remember when Google updated their terms of service and no one really read what it was.
Yeah, it's like they have a universal terms of service now. Yeah.
That was like included in that.
Oh, okay.
So they could like track what you were searching because they knew Google Now was coming out. Mm-hmm. And so that's probably why.
Got it.
Wow.
Right. Anything else on the Google stuff before we head on here?
I don't believe so. So we're gonna hop on to the next
else,
topic. I think Ryan's gonna take this over, but what we're talking about is the iOS, particularly the iOS vice president Scott Forstall and the head of retail John Browett just left Apple, did they not? Or are they leaving Apple?
I think Scott Forstall, at least that's the one I know, is on some sort of like paid thing for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
He's
like an advisor to Tim Cook,
which is
until
great.
The end of the year, which is hilarious
Because
I really think
hate
he's on.
Scott
I really
Forstall.
think he's just on a beach somewhere sipping.
Oh, he's
martinis.
No, he's just like on some Apple-owned property somewhere in the middle of San Diego,
Idaho,
just hanging out. Yeah, he's in Idaho.
Apple actually owns property in Idaho, believe it or not.
like
land. They owned a lot. They own a lot of land in Idaho.
Just land.
Just land. Like really.
There's probably just underground bunkers.
Do they do anything with it?
Where
they're going to turn it into they're going to turn it into iDaho.
Oh. Man, that is going to be the title.
Apple Land. Welcome to iDaho.
God,
anyways,
Idaho, like, are we gonna have some kind of
no,
Idaho?
Oh God. So, so Scott Forstall basically kind of got fired.
Thank God.
And there was a lot of reasons floating around why. I heard
because iOS is stale and junk.
well, I heard a few things that he was kind of hard to work with at times. Didn't really own up to his missteps a lot of times.
Yeah.
Yes, and also he apparently refused to sign the apology letter. Remember Tim Cook?
Has the apology on in the UK come out yet?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
they
actually
published
came out
it.
a little bit ago. Yeah.
So, but this other apology letter was about maps.
Maps, yeah.
That Tim Cook signed and sent out. Apparently, Scott Forstall was supposed to be the one that signed that, but he refused to do it. Like, was just unapologetic about maps.
What a douche.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Like, that was a piss poor product, and to not own up to that, pretty bold. So, I mean, I guess he got what was coming to him, and honestly, it sucks for him, but I couldn't be more excited because now Johnny Ive is taking over.
Oh, that's so great. I seriously, I commend you, Apple, for giving Johnny Ives that position.
Yeah, Johnny Ive
is a visionary.
Yes, he is. The man just has a good sense of design, and he's done it in the hardware space for a long time. But I think he not only just design, but like taste. He knows what he wants, and he's been vocal before about how he doesn't like certain aspects of the iOS design, like, you know, the stitched leather calendars and stuff like that.
No. That's
he's come out and said how he doesn't like that.
That's what I hate about what is that Apple app that came out with iOS 6? Pocketbook or Wallet?
Oh, Wallet.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't Wallet. It might be. I know what you're talking. Passbook.
It's not Passbook. Yeah, Passbook. I think that's like, okay, it's cool looking. Like, or it's a cool idea, but it's ugly. Like, just that faux realism that Apple is trying to achieve with like iCal and Passbook. And what was the other app that they like kind of went with that?
I don't know if it's the one you're thinking of, but there's also their podcast app that came out with that had like the spinning like what do you even call those? The tape
like a tape reel.
Like a tape reel that actually spun
like,
when you played a podcast.
They like went for this like, and this is obviously under Scott Forstall. They went for this like faux realism, and it was just so ugly.
And there's a word for that. It's called skeuomorphism.
Okay. I like that word.
And I'm going to explain this real quick. Skeuomorphism is where and it's been around since the early days of the desktop, where you take real life metaphors and apply them to a digital space so that people, you know, who may not be familiar in that space.
It makes it relatable.
It makes it relatable. So, for example, you have a trash bin in OS 10. That's where you throw your files in. Even in Windows, you know. But, I mean, the design of it in OS 10 is a little more like bin-like. You know? It looks more like a real object.
Yeah, because it's like that wire... it's a wireframe.
It's like a wireframe trash can that you would throw a piece of paper in.
And when it fills up, it has
got a little piece of
pieces
paper.
of paper.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's those kind of metaphors that are embedded into
skeuomorphism.
Yeah,
I like that word. I like that word a lot. I'm
NPR
try to use
actually did a story
once
on
a
it
week.
the other day.
I'm gonna try to use it once a week.
So skeuomorphism. There's your word for the week. But yeah, it's this kind of skeuomorphism that it's in OS 10, it's in iOS, and it's been creeping in over the past few years, even more. I mean, beyond just icons with trash bins, like the worst offender to me is, in my opinion, on OS 10 with the calendar app that actually has like this terrible stitched leather around it.
Oh God, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm
saying?
Yeah. I
can't think of what the name of the app is, but
it's just called Calendar.
It's the Calendar app.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I just opened it up once on my machine and I looked at it and I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Get me out of here. And I think it's like, it might even be like that on iPad as
Isn't
well.
it in the
it's
Calendar
on iPad
app
for
now
sure.
that like the number is like off center just a little bit? Like the 4 is like a couple of pixels off center, and a bunch of people kind of freaked out about it.
In iOS?
Yes.
I hadn't heard about that.
I think I'm gonna look it up right now. So like keep talking.
Sure.
It's, if I'm correct, it's they when they updated the Calendar app at one point or another, it's Gizmodo ranted about it because Jesus Diaz, he's a writer. He freaked out because it was like 6 or 7 pixels off center, where before it was like dead on center, and he noticed it. And like,
wow.
If you're one of those people where that you notice something's like not perfectly centered or lined up and freak out, you would understand this totally. And I have my moments where I do this, where I'll just be like, I'll look at something and it'll be off a little bit, and I'll try to move it, and then something else like next to it'll be off, and I'll just like have a moment. But yeah, it's, I guess, from what, if my memory's correct, they had the number was off just a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna look this up.
So to kind of recap on Scott Forstall, I'm very excited that he's gone now and somebody else is heading up the design for iOS, because in my mind, this all this kind of news about it kind of confirmed to me that he was responsible for a lot of the skeuomorphic implementations and kind of just overall design language decisions for iOS in the past few years, and not a lot of which I've been a fan of.
You know what I find weird though is that like Steve Jobs was okay with all of this.
But and you know what, I was thinking about this today. Steve Jobs was okay with all of this when he was here with us, but given this year and maybe even next year, I don't think it would have taken Steve Jobs that long to kind of look at the landscape, see what else was going on. Steve Jobs wasn't the kind of guy that would just sit there and just be like, oh, our platform is going to look like this. And Steve Jobs had an eye for design.
He was a visionary.
And he would have saw what was going on in Android and Windows Phone. And if at some point Steve would have been like, okay, we need to reboot this thing, he would have held up an iPhone or an iPad in front of his team. He says, hey, look at this. This looks like shit.
Right. Yeah.
We need to get this back up to speed.
He would have.
Steve would have done that. Scott Forstall, though, I feel like would have just kept driving this train into skeuomorphism hell.
And I think like the reason he would do that is because he doesn't want to admit that he's wrong. I feel like Scott Forstall is super stubborn, like ridiculously stubborn.
I'm sure he is. I mean, I don't know who else. I mean, you would have to be stubborn to just look out there in the world and just look at what's happening with Windows Phone and what's happening with Android, and not recognize that you need to kind of get with the times and update your design sensibility a little bit. I mean, look at the home screen of iOS on your iPhone right now, and then look at the home screen of a screenshot from 2007 when the first iPhone came out. What has changed?
Yeah.
Nothing. It looks exactly the same in every aspect.
So Lucas just posted this this photo.
Oh God, you're talking about the photo.
Well, no, not the photo, but the link about the iOS calendar, and it's the title is Apple.
It's
fixes,
in the bottom of the Google Doc.
Apple fixes horrendous weekday placement in iOS 6 calendar, and it's stupid, how off it is.
To be clear, the iOS faux leather calendar, it might only be in the iPad version of that and the desktop.
Isn't it just on the icon?
No. It's in the app itself.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's it looks. They try to make it.
The icon is kerned wrong.
Like the calendar icon.
Yes, it's kerned incorrectly. And it's I am a big person when it comes to kerning and text kerning. I notice when things are off in terms of kerning, and it's just I look at that icon. I'm like, my mother has an iPhone. She's the only iPhone user that I know that I have access to their phone. Right. And I look at that icon and it's just what the hell? What? Who thought that was a good idea? Because Apple prides itself on good design, and I will admit there's solid design in Apple's interface. They have a good design scheme, and they force their apps to follow said design scheme. And I admit it's pretty good, like to an extent. But your own stock app has the icon is kerned incorrectly. What is wrong with you? That's an easy like couple pixel fix where you just bump it over.
Right.
But they haven't fixed it yet. And we're in the 6th version of iOS.
But yeah. And
I mean,
back to what Ryan was talking about actually with like iOS 6 and how it hasn't changed much. That is actually my biggest issue with Apple, other than I have just a personal weird vendetta against Apple. But it's boring. I don't know. I don't get excited because it's something I've seen over and over and over again. It's what you see is exactly what you get with iOS. It is simple. It is just as basic as you can get.
We're gonna get into that.
We will get.
We're
into
gonna get into
this.
that. So
but
let's not.
All
jump.
I'll say is, I'm excited for what Johnny Ive will bring to the table.
I'm jacked. I think he was the perfect person to take over Scott Forstall.
I want Johnny Ive to make me excited about iOS again. I want Johnny Ive to come out on stage at a Apple press conference and blow me away.
Show me some good software.
Yes.
Because iOS is stale. Again, we'll get into this, but iOS is stale.
I want Johnny to make me want to buy an iPhone again.
I want Johnny Ive to make me a ham sandwich.
I want anyone to make me a ham sandwich right now. Oh, that sounds good. All right. Are we done with iOS?
Yes.
I believe so. We're going to hit you guys with a music break quick, and we'll be back with a brand new segment. And we're back with our new segment, Ask TechBuzzed, where you can send us your emails, Twitter questions, or Facebook posts, and ask us any question, both tech and non-tech related, and we'll answer them on the air. We got a couple questions today for our first ever Ask TechBuzzed. One about a phone and one about a tablet. Our first one comes from listener Aaron O. of East Lansing, Michigan. And she writes, "Hello, gentlemen. First of all, I would like to commend you on a delightful and entertaining first 2 episodes. I was fully expecting you to hate dump on Apple 24/7, but you have proven to rant equally against the shitty aspects of all manufacturers. Tip of the cap to you all. Since I've noticed that all of my tech-obsessed, nerd-type friends are vehemently opposed to ever owning an iPhone, even if they use other Apple products, everyone in this group seems to agree that the iPhone sucks, but no one has ever explained to me why. As a casual observer with a tiny bit of experience playing with Android products, I find the iPhone much more intuitive, pretty, and easy to use. Plus, it has a better camera and works well as an iPod. I suspect millions of people bought it, and like most of those people, I don't see why I should care that iOS is pretty, closed to outside developers and other huge dweebs messing with it. But enlighten me. Why should a casual smartphone user go with a phone running Android or Windows Phone over an iPhone? And which phones specifically would you recommend? All caps. My next phone purchase could depend on your answer! ! ! ! ! ! ! ! ! Thanks, Aaron O., age 22. Thank you, Aaron, for your question. We have all prepared for this in varying degrees of running off the cuff and writing out notes. I guess I'll start because I'm going off the cuff here. It really depends on how much you plan on what you plan on using your phone for. If you're just there for the fact that no one makes feature phones anymore and you just want a couple apps and you just want your phone to work and just do the bare minimum, get an iPhone. And I get an iPhone. However, iOS is stale. Like I said earlier, it's stale. It's never really been updated. Siri sucks. And it's just boring. And And seriously, the number one reason I love Android more than iOS is the fact that someone can say, "Hey, can I borrow your phone?" And I go, "Sure." And they won't even know how to unlock it. Which is great because I don't want anyone touching any of my devices.
This is a poor reason for why you should buy an Android phone.
Because no, not necessarily. Because you could be a person like me that doesn't like other people touching their stuff. And okay, I should rephrase that. It's not my number one reason, but it's a really good. It's a good backing reason on why I love Android. Is the fact that I can customize things so much that only me or other nerdy people like myself can get into. Your average iOS user can look at my phone and go, what? And not be able to get into my phone, which is exactly what I want. I want some random Joe, if some random Joe steals my phone, they're not going to know left from right on it. And it's great because I don't want anyone to know left from right on it except for me, because that's all that matters when it comes to my devices.
Okay.
So if you want that bare bones intuitive, which I agree, the iPhone is intuitive. If you want that bare bones intuitive, easy to use interface, get an iPhone. If not, get an Android phone. And Aaron, you didn't specify. Do you know, Ryan, what carrier she's on?
Believe Verizon.
Verizon.
I've never met this. I've never met this Aaron person before.
Oh, okay.
So she's just kind of a random listener.
I believe that.
I get that. I get the sense that she's probably a Verizon gal.
What? And actually, this doesn't even matter, regardless of whether she's on Verizon or AT&T. If we persuade you against an iPhone for whatever reason, get a Samsung Galaxy S3. Simple as that. Get an SGS3.
Or a 1X. If you're not on Verizon.
I think you should get an SGS3 over a 1X.
Okay.
Really?
And who would like to take the floor? Because I'm
going to take the next part here because I think Ryan will have Ryan
is planned.
I have a lot.
Ryan's set up.
Aaron, I have a lot of stuff to tell you about.
He's about to fill you with information. But just fill you right up.
Oh, God.
First,
so, Lucas, take the floor.
But anyway, what I was going to say is, I will be honest, I am in this debate right now with my girlfriend, Krista, because she wants to get a new phone, but she doesn't really know what she wants. It's like, she doesn't want a big phone because she just doesn't like huge phones. Don't even say
By the way, shout out to Twitter user Quistawanaquacka.
Oh, yeah. Everyone follow at Quistawanaquacka. But yeah, it's I've been recommending her to get an iPhone 5, and like a lot of people will be like, for me to say that because I am on this podcast like the person that's just like, yay, Windows Phone and like Galaxy Nexuses and all the Nexi devices, but I'm telling her to get an iPhone 5 because it's the thing that everyone in her family understands. She's not going to be asking me questions every single time she wants to know how to do something.
Not only that, but it's compatible with most of the devices they use, is it not?
Well, they all have PCs, but it's still.
But like, her father has an iPad.
Yep.
Like it's.
If you're using iTunes,
it's in that ecosystem.
Like I can understand. Like I still like Android because I understand how everything works a little better, and I would rather switch over to it, but. If you are already in an ecosystem, if you've bought your music from there, if you've already got everything saved in there, it's easy. Even though most people, I don't know, it's.
Now I was an avid iTunes user. Even when I bought when I switched from having a feature phone to having this device that I still have now, the HTC Thunderbolt, which is an Android powered device. It started out with when I got it, I was a fortunate one to get Gingerbread instantly upgraded to my phone when I bought it. But after getting I don't like when I listen to music. That happened to also be the same time I was using Spotify before that via proxy, but that was when Spotify got popular, like real close to that same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to drop iTunes completely, and most of my music comes from either physical copy or purchasing the album online and saving the files directly to my computer.
Yeah.
And putting them on my phone. Because I don't besides like if I purchase music, it goes directly on my phone. I don't listen to it on my computer at all.
Yeah.
Because I have Spotify for that.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I use anything else?
And I'm the kind of I hate iTunes.
Oh.
I really do.
I opened the
memory hog.
iTunes
It's a memory hog.
for the
Yeah.
first time the other day in like 25 years. And
Yep, because you're 25 years old. And iTunes has been around that long.
it was because you know what, iTunes is a bad program. Before I get into my whole thing, iTunes is a bad program for multiple reasons, but I also heard that it was written in AppleScript, like not a native code language, so it's kind of got this whole other layer of abstraction on top of it that makes it not very efficient. So think about how long it takes you to sync stuff with iTunes sometimes.
Right.
A lot of that is because of the way it's written.
That it's
Yeah.
also, unless you're using an OS X powered device, if you're using a Windows device, iTunes or Windows laptop, iTunes is a memory hog. It is a huge memory hog.
Yeah.
All right. So now I'm going to run into my
Yeah.
Well, does Lucas? Do you have any more?
anything else
add?
before I
I'll
jump into this?
I'll do the quick and dirty here. It's
Just give a phone recommendation. Anything else you have to add?
okay. Phone recommendation on Verizon. Personally, I'd be looking at an HTC 8X because I'm a Windows Phone fanboy. If you just want a phone that just works, you want all the apps, you want to play around on Instagram, you want to have Facebook and all this. If you don't use Gmail, get an iPhone 5. It has a great camera, great screen. It fits in your hand. It's smaller. It has good battery life. Yada yada. I have some dings on it, but that's more of my personal vendetta. But yeah, it's a good phone.
I have something to add to your comment about the 8X. Windows Phone 8 is, you may find this surprising, but extremely intuitive.
Yeah.
Windows Phone, I'm sure, Aaron, you probably never used Windows 8. Maybe you've seen it, but you probably never used it. It's super intuitive, and Windows Phone 8 is equally intuitive. And it's really getting pushed to the side as this like third-rate phone mobile operating system.
My biggest
I want it to be known that it is not at all a third-rate operating system.
Yeah.
Mobile operating system. It is definitely a viable option as a mobile device.
Yes, and I agree, but I want to say one thing about Windows Phone. Like, I love it, but the apps,
There's no support.
like the
Right.
support just is not quite there
But
yet.
it's going to come. You're
real-
going to have your phone for 2 years at least. It's going to come.
The real big question, with Windows Phone 8 is, does it have Instagram? Because if it doesn't have Instagram,
I believe it does.
It
Oh,
doesn't,
really?
not
Yeah, it
yet.
does.
No,
Oh,
it doesn't.
that-
I,
it
it
doesn't
does
yet?
not. I am.
I was
100%
intending
sure
to
it
trip you
does
guys
not.
up with that.
No.
But
No, it doesn't. So it doesn't.
no
doesn't.
Instagram. Well,
No
deal
Instagram.
breaker.
But
But
let me. I'm gonna look at. There's actually a post by The Verge by Tom Warren about Instagram on Windows Phone.
okay.
But
Aaron,
anyway,
So
let's-
go ahead,
Aaron, I'm talking directly to you right now.
Aaron. This is for you.
Get cozy because this is going to be a long answer. So to preface this, and you guys can chime in whenever you want because I have a lot of points to go onto this.
Sure.
Because to preface this, I've literally thought about this very topic a million times before, spurred on by people who have asked me this question. And I'm sure you guys have gotten this question before. Why don't you use an iPhone?
I love your response.
To which I say to them often, why don't you use an Android phone? It's just like weird question. But
And
I
just want to jump in
Right.
really quick. The response you'll get from saying why don't you use an Android phone is always the same. It's always the same.
what?
Like, people's defense of iOS is just, it's silly, and I'm tired of it.
Well, what is it? What did they say?
It's just better.
I
you know what? Every time someone says that to me, I'm going to either mentally or physically punch you in the mouth.
Define better.
Exactly. I'm going to punch you in the mouth.
Right.
I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to go, this is me breaking your front 4 teeth.
So, Aaron, I
hate that response.
Aaron this person that I've literally never met before. I could literally... None of us have at all. I could write an easy 2,000-word blog post about this very topic, about why do I use an iPhone. So I'm sure I'm not going to hit every possible point in that future blog post I'm going to write right now. I'm not going to hit every point. I'm going to miss a few, but these were the main things that I came up with. So my first big point is design. The iPhone design at the moment, they use something called the human interface design. And you can go look this up. If you go to Google and search for human interface design iOS, it will show you the design reference documents.
Yeah, it's a legitimate thing.
Yeah, it will. This is for developers. It will show you the design reference documents on how you're supposed to build your iOS apps. And this design aesthetic, as we mentioned in the stories prior to this, has not changed very much since 5 years ago, which is a long time. Not changed very much at all. It's called the human interface design, and it used a lot of the aesthetic of it has not been pleasing to me. First of all, as it's progressed, it's gotten more like of these skeuomorphic references in it that the stitched leather and the calendars and stuff. So yeah, it's called the human interface design. That's their design aesthetic name, but I've come to call it, as in the last few days, Scott Forstall's skeuomorphic hell ride. That's my name for it now, because that's literally how much I dislike that aesthetic. I'm so bored of it and so utterly just out of looking. I don't want to look at that anymore. It just seems so old to me. Now, on the Android side, we have the hollow theme aesthetic, which is very much flatter. Beautiful. It's a much flatter design aesthetic.
It's very matte.
Very matte. Like if you were to, for example, grab somebody's stock Android device and go into settings, it looks nothing like the settings on iOS. It's just flat with, blue lines separating each settings bar, and like you hit it and it's plain text, and but just really well designed. It's hard to describe in words, but like it is intuitive, but at the same time it's stripped of all this all these gradiential, these buttons had all these gradients on them, and like all the skeuomorphic references that are included in iOS to try and make you familiar with it. It's hollow. The hollow theme is stripped of all of that.
Yeah.
It's completely flat. I mean, not completely. The icons are still not completely flat. You look at Android now and the icons, I would say it's almost like the hybrid point between iOS and Windows Phone 8.
Yeah.
It's close. It's in that spectrum.
Yeah, it's in that spectrum.
It's in that spectrum.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
not. It's. I think it's a little more closer to the Windows 8 side. Or no? Oh, never mind. That wasn't the face you're making at me. That's something else.
Yeah.
But it's a little more closer to the Windows 8 design aesthetic, but it still has icons that are still, specific to each app. Now, the Windows Phone 8 UI, I'm going to touch on that real quick too in terms of design. That is a design aesthetic that is completely flat and completely
I love it.
Progressive.
From a designer's standpoint, I love it. Absolutely love it.
So my point with this, Aaron, is there are folks out there that are pushing phone design and software interface design forward. And
then there's Apple.
At the moment, that's not Apple. That's not what they're doing, which is strange for them because they're usually the leaders in this area. They've always pushed this. I mean, think back a long, long time ago to the 80s when they first came up with the Mac. They were like the inventors of the UI. You know, there was Xerox Park before that.
They were,
but they stole it from them. And
exactly.
made it their own.
No, hold on. They did not. I'm going to defend them. They did not steal it. They did not steal it.
Not steal
They were given permission to go see it, and then they made it better.
Right.
Which for the longest time is what Apple did. And then iOS just fell off the bandwagon. They just fell right off and hit their head on a really, really, really sharp rock.
Great artist copy, good artist steal.
Thank you.
Or is that the quote?
No, good artist copy, great artist steal.
Good artist copies, great artist steal.
Banksy, actually.
That's Banksy.
Yes.
And you know what? Apple was never ashamed to steal from other people and take their ideas. But lately, they have not been on the progressive design train forward in this area.
No,
to try and push us ahead.
Even with well, I'm not gonna get into that. So it's not mobile.
All
so we're gonna.
My only point is this has this design mentality. Their human interface design hasn't progressed anywhere in the last 5 years. Meanwhile, Android has in the last 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years.
They've significantly changed in the last 5 years. Actually,
it's
Android
it's night
today
and day.
looks nothing like
if you look at
the first version.
Yeah, if you look at the G1 and the Nexus 4, it's more than night and day.
You would think they're two different things. You know?
Yeah.
They actually just created a new metaphor. It's not night and day. It's cupcake and jelly bean.
Right. But our point, Aaron, is that Android has actually iterated and made their design new and like refreshed it. And iOS hasn't done that in 5 years.
Yeah, in software aspects, iOS is not progressive in the slightest.
Now, and then this other thing here, we have this new Windows Phone 8, which is a completely new thing on the scene that is just like light years ahead of everything else, in my opinion, in terms of design. Despite what you say about the platform.
They need more features, but
it's a
design.
Designing, it's a punch in the face to everybody else.
So I'm going to move on. Moving on to functionality. So apps on iOS, apps are sandbox on iOS, and they don't interplay between each other as well. Oh, they're going to whisper. Whatever. Okay, so apps are sandbox on iOS. They don't interplay between each other as well as on Android. Like apps on Android play well together, I feel. Like, the whole concept. Here, let me say one thing. The whole concept of like share anywhere.
Yes.
You hit that share button basically in any app. It brings up all the other apps on your phone that are capable of sharing that kind of content.
Hey, man, but iOS 6 introduced Bluetooth sharing. That's right. My feature phone had Bluetooth sharing. My bad.
No, but you know what I'm talking about, though? Like, I have a link in an app. I want to share it elsewhere. So I hit the share button, and it brings up a list of all the apps. In Android, this is what happens.
Perfect point. I use the app on Android, which if any Android user reads any sort of like news site, blog news site, I read Al Jazeera, I read like The Verge, things like that. I use Currents. Google Currents is it's a Google app on Android.
Right. It's a good app.
I am able to read an entire article, and right at the top of every single article, no matter what page you're on, there's a little button. I push share, and I can throw it right into Plume, which is the Twitter app that I use.
Right.
I share it instantly to Plume. It tweets it out like that. And then, since I share it through Twitter so often, it actually puts a secondary button right next to the share button of just Plume. So all I have to do is push that Plume button, and it instantly shares it to Twitter. Instantly.
Right.
Like, all I do is push one button, and it tweets it out.
And the point here being, on iOS, you are very limited to your share options.
It has to be an iOS-specific app,
which
almost.
At the moment is Twitter or Facebook.
Yep.
Those are the only two things that are baked in. Or email.
Or mail, yeah. Or text.
Or a text
SMS,
message.
Which I mean, mail and text messages they are... like, they go without saying. Like, they're expected.
Right. Yeah. Moving on. Awkward silence.
Radio silence.
Widgets. You can have widgets on Android. I'm just boom. That's it. Only point ever. Yeah.
Widgets. Yay.
Widgets.
I mean,
I love
widgets. In my mind, it's like glanceable information. Really, like the ability to look at something and not have to go into an app to get something out of it.
Widgets and live tiles.
Yeah. Nick, could you grab me a Shiner Bock? I'm not ashamed to say that on the podcast. I need another beer. So widgets and live tiles in the Windows Phone 8 arena, like where actually I think Windows Phone 8 is more progressive in terms of live tiles because the actual app icons themselves are actually live things that show you information from inside of the app. That you say you have a live tile on Windows Phone 8 that's stretched across your whole width of the screen. And it happens to be your text live tile. That text live tile, like in terms of like a text message, if somebody sent you a new one, you might be able to read that whole text from the live tile.
It'll show you a little bit of information about it. Like,
right. Who it came from, probably the first few words of the text message and stuff like that. But glanceable information, basically, so that you don't have to jump into an app to get what you want out of it. Or you get at least a little bit of the information out of that app without having to jump into it itself. And that is offered through widgets on Android and actually through the app tiles themselves on Windows 8. So in that respect, iOS is way behind on that. Here's another big point. I love Android because it's not freaking tied to iTunes. I can't tell you how infuriating it is and how like old school the thought of having to tie your phone to a program on your computer to back it up and do all sorts of things is. And
you are opening up a wormhole.
I don't. Like really, Aaron. I could toss my phone in a lake right now and be totally cool because I know all my apps and settings and everything is backed up to Google's cloud. I have a Galaxy Nexus, by the way, that runs Android.
I back everything up because my phone's rooted.
Right, you have a rooted phone. I have a phone that's not rooted, and it's all backed up to the cloud, and I can throw my phone and break it, and I have no worries about what happens to it, basically.
Aaron, we don't recommend doing.
Yeah, don't throw your phone.
I don't back my phone up because I like living life on the edge.
What a hard ass.
Lucas's middle name is Danger.
Yes.
So that's one thing. Like the just the thought of tying my phone to a program on my computer to back it up is such an archaic notion to me now that it doesn't, like, I have an iPad and I experience that every so often, but to be honest, I haven't backed up my iPad to my computer at all just because the only thing I use it for is a couple things. But whenever I do, I'm just like, this is really still happening in 2012?
My mom owns an iPhone 4S, and like at least weekly she's plugging her phone into her computer to add her music on, add any new music she purchased onto her phone, make sure her contacts are backed up onto her computer on her like Mobile Me account or whatever BS that is called. And it's just like, hey, you know what I do? I flip on Wi-Fi and it does it all for me wherever the hell I am.
Right.
I don't even have to flip on Wi-Fi, but I just do because Verizon sucks.
The answer is Google. It's all up in the cloud, and you don't have to worry about it.
And Windows Phone is the same way.
And Windows Phone is the same way. They back it all up that way. So, real quick, I'm going to speed through this next section. You can change your defaults on Android. So
this is I cannot believe I didn't mention this. This is the number one reason you should use Android over iOS.
So, for instance, Aaron, my default browser on my Android device is Chrome. I also have a operating system browser that comes with it, but I never use it. There's Chrome on iOS, and I can use it on my iPad, but I cannot set that as the default browser. So, for example, if I'm in the Mail app on iOS and I click a link, it's going to open in my Safari browser on iOS, and I have no say over that process at all. Like, if I click a link, it's going to open in the Safari browser.
And if you want to open it in Chrome, you have to copy and paste the link.
Exactly. It's a pain. And, I mean, it's the same deal with text messaging programs like Google Voice and what else?
Well, here we go. When we were talking during the pre-show, you won't hear this, but when we were talking during the pre-show, I hate, and I hate it, but it's still good. The stock Google camera app.
Yeah.
However, the first app I ever purchased on the Google, it was the Android marketplace at that point, but it's now the Google Play Store. The first app I ever purchased was this application called Camera Zoom FX, which is an alternative camera app. And there's actually a setting embedded in Camera Zoom FX that overrides that application as the default camera. So I have, since I purchased my phone, never used any stock camera app on my phone. I've always used Camera Zoom FX.
Right.
And iOS, all hell would break loose. Like, the gates of hell would open if you could use an alternative camera app as your default app.
Okay.
Here's one big one. Gmail.
Oh God.
I can't set Gmail as my default email client.
What do you
on
use
iOS.
What do you use on your phone as an email app?
Gmail.
Okay, I use
Android.
I use K9.
Okay.
And honestly, like, if you have multiple email accounts, which you probably do, you have a work email in that?
Yeah, but they don't let us use it through Android yet.
Not even on K9? Do you have like POP3, IMAP?
Nope.
What?
It's Exchange, man.
You can still set that up through K9.
But that's just...
My Delta email account is Exchange.
Yeah,
and
but
I have
no.
everything tunneled through my phone.
Work is different. Dow is pretty hardcore about stuff.
Certificates
and all sorts of crazy
I'd
things.
probably stab somebody.
I have it on my iPad.
Oh,
that's super fun.
Ooh.
But they don't have it on Android yet.
If you have multiple email accounts and your work is not like a stickler about where you use them,
right?
K9 Mail, it's a free app. I take it hands down over the Gmail app on Android, and I love the Gmail app on Android.
Guys,
okay,
I can archive things through K9 in my Gmail archive on my computer. And
I've got one really quick question.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which, since I don't have a ton of experience with a lot of the newest iOS, like iOS 6, I've read the reviews, I've paid attention to it, but I haven't used...
We both played with it.
And whatnot.
No, wait, I'm going to be clear. I have not touched iOS 6 yet at all.
I have.
Because I refuse to upgrade my iPad to iOS 6, because the minute I do that, I'm going to lose all of my YouTube AirPlay functionality that I use with my Foxy.
That's actually
so
a really
screw
good
you,
point.
Apple.
That's a really
I'm never updating, ever. Ever. I want to be clear
the question,
because
I've played with iOS 6.
What I want to know is, like, for just a user that is pulling their phone out of the box, which phone is going to... which OS is going to have the better, like, stock web app, like web browser, stock mail app.
Are we talking
like?
Are we talking in terms of iOS 5, iOS 6?
I'm talking about
6,
like
Android.
Oh God, the maps on iOS 6.
No, because.
But I'm talking like just iOS 6. You buy a brand new iPhone 5 compared to like
SGS 3.
Yes, an SGS 3.
Well, I think that all depends if you're talking straight out of the box.
Like I'm talking. You
Straight
don't want to go around
Yep.
and dink around with finding different apps for all these different little things.
Who's your mail provider? That is the most important.
That's gonna matter quite a bit.
Most important thing because iOS has better non-Gmail support.
Yeah,
because
right.
Unless you're buying, you know what? We're not even going to talk about the SGS3.
This brings me to my next point, actually.
Well,
on my list of things.
I don't know if it does or not.
No, it does.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Well, let me go with mine, and we'll see if it does.
Yeah.
I don't know about the SGS3 because I've heard about TouchWiz's native mail client, and it's not that great. But on my Thunderbolt and on HTC phones, they actually have like, I wouldn't say it's good, but it's a decent mail client, and it supports not platform, but like multi-protocol email addresses. So like if you're talking like straight out of the box, like an HTC phone or something along those lines, it's actually like I would stick with Android.
Okay. That's all I'm asking.
Because like I said, like when I first got this phone, I set up my school email through Exchange on the stock Sense mail client.
Yeah. Well, all I'm saying is that like I feel like there's a lot of users out there that don't want to go out and look for apps for doing all these things.
But if you use Gmail, which if you don't, just get on the bandwagon, please.
Yeah.
Well,
use Android. Go ahead.
this completely brings me to my next point, which is if you are a heavy user of Google services,
Why buy an
Android
iPhone? Yeah.
is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, Gmail, Google Calendar, Google Drive, Google Tasks,
Google Drive.
Google Talk, which is the chatting, and Maps. Oh God.
Oh,
the
Google
Maps.
Navigation.
Google Maps.
Hands down, one of my most
I mean,
used
I
apps.
really feel bad for I genuinely feel bad for all of the iOS 6 users out there that have had to get the new iOS 6 maps, because I look at Google Maps on my platform and the functionality in that thing is incredible.
I actually have something to add.
Yeah.
Before you continue, if you are using iOS 6 maps and you hate them, if you need to, for whatever reason, use your phone to navigate on an iPhone that has iOS 6 maps, go to Safari, Chrome, whatever, go to maps.google.com, and you can use navigation through your browser.
Wait, like turn by turn? Not turn by turn, but it'll give you directions.
But it'll give you directions, and it'll be better than iOS 6 maps.
Wow.
This is a terrible workaround, though.
And it's the only workaround.
Yeah.
So
unless you use strike that. Or
there are
if
other
you're
nav
looking,
apps.
if you're looking for a good nav app as opposed to iOS 6 maps, there's an app called Waze. Waze. Get it. I used it on my Android phone for a while, and I loved it. And if you're in a bigger metropolitan area, it updates you on traffic, updates you on police cars doing sting operations. It updates you on...
These are the important things.
Yeah, but I mean, it updates you on all those kinds of things, like because people will. It's a user updated app. So if someone sees like, hey, there's a cop car, chilling out behind exit 69's overpass, they'll tap that button on their navigation app and they'll say cop car, and then as you're driving up to the exit 69 overpass, you'll see a little icon that pops up that shows a little police car. So I'm going to slow down here.
Right.
Make sure I don't get pulled over.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So if you're using iOS 6 maps and you hate it, Waze, it's Waze is the name of the app. Get it.
A few more apps on Android. I mean, Wallet, Google Chrome, Google Music, Google Plus. A few of those are on iOS as well, but Google Plus, I feel like, is a better experience on Android.
Oh, God.
Much
it's
better.
A million times
Not
better.
to mention, here's this thing, Aaron. If you take a picture on Android and you have Google Plus set up, and set up in a certain way, like you have your settings set to
which
instant
is
upload.
Actually it's the default setting.
It's the default setting for the Google Plus app. If I were to go snap a picture on my phone right now, I would immediately have it uploaded to Google Plus so I could grab it on my computer later. Like immediately it's uploaded to the cloud so I can get at it later. I don't have to think about it twice. Like as soon as I press the button, picture's taken, it's uploaded, and I can get it later. And that's nice. But it would be even nicer if my Galaxy Nexus had a good camera, which brings me to my last point. Yes, Android is great in so many respects, but if you're the camera kind of gal,
Now, if you're the person that wants to use their camera right out of the box,
right, you might want to stick with iOS. I mean, it's not the main reason, but it's a big reason. The cameras on Android, because there's so many different phones for Android, they really vary in their quality. So like what would be the best two phones on Android right now in terms of camera?
Galaxy S3.
Right. That's one.
And would you say the 1X? No.
Yeah, 1X has a decent camera.
Well, yeah, the 1X.
The iPhone still has
Out like Android. We're talking Android out right now at this moment.
Right, at this moment.
If for whatever reason it's not 2 a.m. and you wanted to drive to a Verizon store and buy a phone or AT&T store, but we're assuming that this Aaron person that we don't
GS3.
know, Galaxy S3 or 1X.
In Android,
Depending on
Android?
Yeah, just Android. Depending on where you are.
I think that those two would probably be the
GS3.
best at the moment.
And the SGS3 has a really good camera.
It's the same sensor as an iPhone 5.
Correct.
Or 4S.
But they don't have the faux sapphire lens.
Here's the sad thing, Aaron. There's actually no stock Android device out at the moment that you could buy that has a really good camera in it. And what I mean by stock is, it's the pure Google Android experience. No alterations made by any manufacturers or anything with a good camera. That's the sad part right now. The Nexus 4 has a decently better camera than the Galaxy Nexus, but from what I've read,
I heard it was a decent camera.
But yeah, just that decent.
Yeah.
It's not gonna blow your pants off. Now, if you're the more adventurous type, Windows Phone 8 actually has some pretty stellar cameras.
Oh my God, the Lumia 920.
If you're on AT&T.
If you are willing to, and to bring me back to my point earlier about Google services, if you use Windows services a lot, think about Windows Phone seriously, because that will integrate well with your life as well.
Oh, yes. Except for you can't. I read the article, by the way. Instagram is not coming anytime soon to Windows Phone.
Okay. Well, don't look for Instagram on Windows Phone. That literally might be a deal breaker for Aaron. For Aaron O.
For a lot of people, that is, and it sounds strange to us three.
No,
but for a lot of people,
you know what?
It is.
I really love using Instagram.
I don't get it.
I don't
all.
even. You know what? I sound like such a non-artist by saying this, but I love using.
Do you know what my sick, twisted thing I like to do with Instagram is? I like to
taking pictures. Never mind.
No, hang on. No, it's not that bad. Whatever you were gonna say, but I
was gonna say taking pictures of your dick.
No, yeah, it's not. Okay. No, but I
because that's pretty sick and twisted.
That is pretty sick and twisted. But no, my thing is even more sick and twisted.
Oh.
I take a DSLR camera.
No, what? I do that too, and I feel so bad. I feel so dirty.
I don't care. If I just made a perfectly great meal for myself, I get my DSLR camera out, and I take a very high quality photo of it, and then I add it to Google Plus. Hang on, let me finish the whole chain.
Go ahead.
I get it up into Google Plus so that I can pull it down on my phone and then add it to Instagram and put an awesome quality picture through Instagram.
Do you not feel so dirty doing that? Because
I feel super dirty doing that, and that's what excites me.
I feel like I'm just cheating Instagram. Like I'm just like doing dirty things to Instagram.
I don't care.
When I'm just like, hey, I'm just gonna upload this like crazy res photo to my phone, and then I'm gonna post it on Instagram, and everyone's gonna go like, wow, you're such a good photographer. And I'm like, actually, I just took this like autofocus like photo with my digital SLR, and it took me like 3 seconds. But my photos are 1,000,000 times better than yours.
Hey, you know what? Whatever works.
I feel dirty.
I don't feel dirty.
I feel dirty every time I do that.
Here's the thing. I would feel dirty if I actually had a good camera on my phone. But
Same
I don't. I have a Galaxy Nexus whose camera blows to no end.
My camera sucks balls too.
So
but
here's to wrap it all up, Aaron. That was a very long answer, but that was kind of something I needed to do for my own reasons too.
He had to get it off his chest.
I feel better as a person now that I have said all that. So I appreciate you instigating that in me. So to wrap it up,
go ahead.
Android progressively designed, much more functionality. Mm-hmm. You can customize it much more to your liking, and if you use a ton of Google services, it's just kind of a no-brainer. But in terms of cameras, kind of lacking unless you buy a couple phones.
I have. Are you done?
I'm gonna just say for Windows Phone 8 real
Sure.
quick. In terms of Windows Phone 8 is amazing. It will not have everything that you might want there. It won't have Instagram, which
you're taking a bet
sucks.
on Windows Phone 8.
I mean, you are taking a slight bet, but they will have great cameras on those phones. And in terms of iOS, I mean, you're getting the same old iOS that you know already because you have an iPhone already. But you're limited in some ways.
How do you know Erin has an iPhone? Because we don't know her.
I thought she mentioned that in her.
She did not.
Well, I'm guessing she has an iPhone.
Okay.
I'm gonna actually. I want to say one thing about Windows Phone. I have an old Windows Phone, like an old Windows Phone 7 for Verizon, a trophy. It's a very, very cheap and kind of garbagey phone, but
that's an old Windows Phone though.
Yeah, it's based off of like it's basically the Droid Incredible, but with Windows Phone on it.
She has no idea what the Droid Incredible is.
It's a phone from 2008.
Yep.
But anyway, it's like with that phone, as slow as it was, for some reason, I just wanted to touch it.
That's because
I don't get it.
That's because of this operating system.
Just like that's the thing about Windows Phone is that I just wanted to play with it all day.
So I'm actually going back. I'm gonna quote her email here because we have to. We like kind of answered her question, but we really didn't.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna quote her email, and we're gonna give our absolution, our thoughts on this. Which phone specifically would you recommend? All caps again. My next phone purchase could depend on your answer.
Okay, so
Ryan, go. Give me maybe like two or three.
I think we should recommend. Well, obviously, iOS is an obvious choice, so I'm going to recommend in each operating system here. Okay. So Android. I think you sound like a Verizon gal, Aaron. That's just kind of the sense I get about you from your email. So I would, in terms of Android phones on Verizon, I mean, I have a Galaxy Nexus and it's pretty nice, I have to say. I mean, it came out last November. It's kind of last year, but it's a stock Android device. It's LTE, and it does everything I could possibly want.
The Galaxy Nexus is so Raven.
It's still a solid phone.
It's so Raven.
And just because I'm going to be different, because I know somebody else is going to say the Galaxy S3, I'm going to say you should still get a Galaxy Nexus because it runs stock Android, and you don't have to ROM it because you sound like the person that doesn't want to ROM your phone.
But she also sounds like the person that would ask somebody to ROM her phone for her.
No. Maybe. And Aaron, you also sound like the kind of person that maybe wants to take a lot of pictures with your phone. So I might take back my answer and say Galaxy S3.
All right.
For Android.
For Windows Phone?
Is there a good Windows Phone on Verizon?
They have the 8X and the Lumia 822, but
8X. There you go.
Lucas. We're kind of, are we all deciding, before you say this, are we all deciding that like iOS is a good choice if you believe in what we said about iOS?
Well, I was going to recommend an iPhone 5.
Recommend what you'd like then.
From what it sounds like, I get it, and once again, listen to what Ryan said big time, because if you buy into the iOS ecosystem and if you go and get an iPhone 5, you're going to get a nice piece of hardware, and it's going to be a system that's going to be fairly easy to use, but you're buying into something that you can't really customize. You're locked into a certain set of whatever they're doing, and it's not new. But anyway, just listen to what Ryan said before. But yeah, like it has a great camera, like I said, great screen, fits in your pocket, good battery life. Other than that, I've got a Galaxy S3. I love it. It's a great phone, and because of the fanboy inside of me, I'm going to recommend an HTC 8X because I want to touch it.
And it's on to me. You know what? I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon here. Like Lucas said, if you are enticed by what iOS has to offer, which it's a solid phone for the user that doesn't really want to play with their operating system. They don't want to. If
not
you're
even with
Aaron,
the operating system, play with every little individual app.
Aaron, if you're not a girl that likes to just dig into their settings and just like and get it to what you want, which is what I am. I love, the first thing I do when I buy a phone is I like activate it and then I jump into the settings and I customize the shit out of it so it's me, and that's what I love so much about it. And so if you're not that kind of person that likes customizing and making their unique own device, get an iPhone 5 because you're going to love it. However, if you're a person that likes digging in and getting their hands dirty in their devices, get the SGS3. And if you think Windows Phone 8 is enticing and you never want to use Instagram, which is really depressing,
yeah,
Get an 8X because the camera on that phone is going to be nuts good, and the operating system is awesome.
I'm not going to say nuts good.
It's better than the SGS3.
It's going to be a very good camera.
It's better than the SGS3.
We are all talking if you're on Verizon.
Right. Which we're assuming. I mean, quotes.
Aaron, I get the sense that you're on Verizon just by your email.
I'm air quoting.
Just by your use of tone and language.
And
that
also,
you're a Verizon gal.
The phones that we've recommended so far are available on AT&T and Verizon.
Correct. So yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you are the kind of gal that just wants to get her hands dirty in the settings and really customize something that's unique to you, Aaron O, age 22 of East Lansing, Michigan, get an SGS3 because the settings in that, they're expansive. Android really allows you to make your phone Aaron. That's what they allow. They're like, Aaron, we want you to make your phone Aaron. And that's what they're there for. So I hope we answered your question, Aaron.
We really went long on that response.
We did. So I think
I kind of had some personal things I needed to dig outside of myself for that one.
So Aaron, we really hope we answered your question. And if you do make a pick based on our choices, we are not liable for whether you like the phone or not. but we hope you like it regardless. We're gonna jump on to our next question, which is actually really quick because we already discussed the answer to this. Listener Paul asked us, he's in the market for a new tablet, and he asked us for the best tablet sub $300. Ryan, go. Real quick.
I don't know. I'm gonna say the Nexus 7.
Lucas.
Yeah, I know Paul.
Full disclosure, Paul is my brother, Paul Spletzer. So.
And that's exactly why I'm going to say Nexus 7, because his brother would be like, oh, hey, you have a Nexus 7? If you ever have an issue, call me.
I say Nexus 7 because the Nexus 7 is about to drop in price. He can get a good size tablet, like storage-wise. Oh, I hate saying storage-wise. I hate using the suffix wise. In regards to storage, it's going to be great storage space. It's going to be a good price,
especially
and it's
now.
Really, really great tablet.
Since there's
and it's only $200.
Yeah, the price is dropping on all of them because the 32 gig is coming out real soon. So, Paul, if you're in the market for a tablet, look at that Nexus 7.
Our basic answer to Paul is like, if you're looking at sub 300, if that's your parameter for looking, for a tablet,
get the Nexus 7.
There's no better tablet than the Nexus 7.
There's no
under
question.
that price point.
Especially since we know you're in school. If you plan on buying, like maybe a textbook or something online, Kindle app is available for Android.
Oh, yeah. There's
You
Kindle
can
app,
buy
Google Books,
you can buy
everything.
your textbooks on Kindle for very low prices and read them on your Nexus 7, which is just
relatively low prices.
Lower prices than buying them hard copy.
Right. And the reading experience on Nexus 7 is pretty nice.
It's great. It has a great screen.
Form factor.
It has a great screen. It's a great form factor. Yep. So, Paul, we just answered your question. You're going to buy a Nexus 7, and we all know it. Just kidding. But in all seriousness, the Nexus 7, sub $300, best tablet you can get. And we're going to cut to some music again, and we're going to come back with our beer pick of the week. We'll see you in a minute. Back with our beer picks of the week. I'm gonna start things out because again I came in last place. I'm 0 for 2 right now. I'm batting triple zeros. But I think I don't know if it's a winner, but I have a great beer this week. It is Sierra Nevada's Tumbler Autumn Brown Ale. All right, it's a mouthful. That's what she said. I'm going to read the description on the back. I just tasted this a little earlier. Tumbler is our take on the classic brown ale. full of roasted malt flavor, but delicate on the palate and perfect for crisp fall days. Layered with notes of chocolate, toasted bread, and a hint of smoke. Tumbler is the ultimate autumn beer, which that last statement I completely agree with. I would never choose a fall beer, even the Jaw Jacker, which we had as our
beer of the week on the first week.
Initial beer of the week.
Yep.
I think this is the best autumn beer.
I'm interested to try it, especially since
it is slightly smoky, malty. It's kind of like we've all had Newcastle, correct? We've all had Newcastle.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It is a smoky little bit of smoke, nutty Newcastle. It's a more full flavored Newcastle.
I'm excited for this.
And you saw the color. I had it in my mug a little
Yeah.
earlier. It's a real deep reddish brown.
Okay.
I'm excited for this because I actually also brought a brown ale as mine. So 2 brown ales facing off.
Head to head.
Ew.
Tasting it right now. Oh, that's good.
It's crisp. It's real
that's
crisp.
really nice.
Lucas, it's really crisp. So like I said, I picked this up at the lager mill today.
That's good.
I was looking for something interesting, and I found something a little seasonal because we are now hitting which is weird because it's the first week in November.
It's really
this is
good.
now fall,
Yep.
but it is a
taste the
really
chocolate.
it's a really crisp fall beer. You get a bit of that chocolate, a bit of smoke, and you get that malt, which I think is important.
It is.
Because it really it makes it full bodied.
Right.
So Ryan, you are next up. You say you also have a brown ale. It
Yes.
looks like you have maybe a German or a Dutch.
Yeah. So you have your opener over
I
there?
do, yes.
So this is kind of just a random pick. And I hadn't tried it before the podcast, but I cracked one open during the podcast. And
Is this German,
it's
Dutch,
interesting.
Belgian?
This is from Abbey Ale, Belgium brew here, a Belgian ale, but it's specifically a brown Belgian ale.
I'm actually surprised by that. You don't see a lot of Belgian brown ales.
No, you don't. So this one caught my eye, and for no particular reason except I was like, oh, a Belgian ale, and it was kind of fancy, and it has like the actual foil on the top of the beer, you know, like
Stella Artois
yeah,
action.
that you kind of have to actually rip off the top before you drink it. But I'm just gonna rip off the.
Let's split a gurk here.
Oh
Cleanse
yeah,
our
gurk.
palate.
We have to gurk it up before we take our next beer.
I'm just gonna.
I've got the big dill
I'm
pickle
just gonna.
gurks.
Do you guys mind? If
I don't
just take
care.
a bite
Whatever.
and-
He's gonna flick his pickle at you.
Fucking pickles everywhere.
Grab a gurk. Oh, that's so good. Pickles are delicious.
I can only imagine the sounds that are happening
Oh, I heard them.
to the listeners
Oh, I heard them.
right now.
They are sexy.
Hear those sexy gurk
Just
sounds.
us crunching gherkins. So Ryan, go ahead and taste your beer.
All right, I will taste.
Give
my
us a
beer.
rundown of it. What do you taste?
So
What are you
I'm
smelling?
interested to see what you guys think about this one. Oh man. All right.
Keep in mind, our beer of last week was the Lion Stout from Singapore, which was
No.
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka, excuse me. yeah, Pacific
A
Island
little bit
country,
different areas.
you know. But Lucas brought last week, and he didn't even like. So
Let
Thoughts?
me clarify that. That's good, but
this smells like balsamic vinegar.
Yeah, I have to say.
It smells exactly like balsamic
Yeah.
vinegar.
Let me smell it real quick. I actually didn't smell it at all. Shame on me. Yeah.
Balsamic vinegar. Do you not smell that?
Yeah.
we
I
did
don't
just
have a
eat
very
dill
good nose,
pickle.
but yeah, I smell it. I will have to say, Nick's is more crisp than mine. If
I
that
think
makes
Nick's a little bit
sense.
smoother.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Leffe. I guess this is actually
that's still a pretty smooth tasting beer. I like it.
Is Leffe the title of this beer, or is it the brewery?
Let's see.
I think it's just Leffe. Leffe might be the name of the beer.
I think it's the Leffe Brune.
Leffe Brune,
which would be the brown ale. But what does Abbey ale mean?
I thought Abbey ale was the brewery.
Or
sorry, that doesn't make sense.
I think
Leffe might be the brewery. Then
no.
Look
at. All right, I don't speak many languages.
So this beer is imported from Belgium.
Look at that. Look at below the logo there in the red text. It looks like possibly like Abbey ale or something.
Abbey de Abje.
I think that's a brewery.
All right. So there's some weird Belgian name underneath the logo.
What do they speak in Belgium? Do they speak German?
Hell if I know. German is one.
Wikipedia.
German is one of their languages, but it doesn't mean it's the language of Belgium. But so I mean, this is how authentic this beer is. It's like from Belgium, and we can barely like decipher the label because it's literally
like Dutch,
French.
It's literally in another language.
Dutch, French, or German.
I think all three.
I would actually guess that would be Dutch because of the year on the label.
Oh,
1240.
1240.
I would guess it's probably Dutch.
Because I think Dutch, French, and German are all like official languages of Belgium.
Right.
But
which would make sense. Like geographically makes sense. But because it says 1240, I would assume that's like the year the brewery started. Or whatnot, and so I would say like Dutch because I bet that was their primary language at the time.
And this is definitely not German. It's definitely not French. So it's Dutch. It's got to be.
Yeah. So it's pretty good though.
It is pretty good. Like a smoother, more rounded kind of taste.
Yeah.
To a Belgium than the to a brown ale than the Sierra Nevada.
Yeah.
That
Then
Nick
the
just
Tumbler.
pulled out the Tumbler.
Yeah.
Tumbler's definitely more like. You took a bite. I mean, it doesn't taste like apple, but it tastes like you bit into a crisp apple.
I think it tastes like fall. Is what
like fall, right?
And that's kind of why I picked it.
A little more bite.
Yeah, I think that's why I picked it because it's like we are officially in fall, which is weird because it's the first week in November.
Fall is like over.
But it's the first week in November, and this is the first time we've gotten fall weather. It's for more than 3 days.
It's like freezing outside.
It's 40.
Okay.
We live in Michigan, damn.
But anyway, I'll get on with my beer here. What I've got is it's called Moylan's White Christmas Spiced Winter Lager. I got this because I had last week Kent brought in the Shiner Holiday Cheer and I loved it. It was my favorite beer. And let me clarify on my my beer I brought last week. It was good, but it's just not my style of beer. And I was not feeling good. I wanted to die. But yeah, side note. Anyway, this beer here, it's a lager brewed with I'm just reading the label pretty much right now, but with orange zest, mace, cinnamon, coriander, and white pepper.
Mace.
Yeah, mace.
Just a hefty dose of bear mace.
Hey, it was done in California. I'm just picturing like Occupy Wall Street tears in the beer.
It smells really good.
Okay, I'm curious.
You
it was
gotta
brewed in
taste
California. I gotta taste it here.
It has a. I wouldn't say it smells really good, but it has an interesting smell.
Pour myself some more here.
It's kind of sour smelling, but that's not necessarily a bad thing when it comes to beer.
Wow. Yeah, you're definitely right.
It's kind of it's
very
like,
interesting.
It's a sour fruit smell, but it's not. That's not necessarily a bad thing when it comes to beer. Lucas, thoughts?
That's really all my thoughts are right now.
It's kind of throwing me for a loop.
It doesn't taste at all like it smells.
No. I kind of like it, but I don't know how to explain it at all.
There's no. It doesn't taste like the description.
Not at all.
And it's weird.
I don't know what to say right now. 'Cause yeah, like it says.
It's pretty good though.
It is, and you can taste, like I can kind of tell that they were going for like this kind of Christmassy style flavor, but it's I don't know.
That's the thing though, is like when I think, because like I want to start brewing, and I have the equipment to start brewing, but when I think of a winter ale, I think of like allspice and maybe some clove, a little bit of cinnamon, and I don't taste any of that.
Which is funny because I actually smell spice. I smell spice in this.
Yeah, exactly. But
that's what I anticipated tasting.
I don't taste the like the full body of like clove and allspice, and that's when I drink or when I think of like a winter ale. I think of really full. I don't think of a full-bodied beer, but I think of full-bodied like spice flavor.
Right.
And especially since the title of this beer is Spiced Winter Lager.
I'm incredibly confused right now.
Right. There's not a lot of spice taste to it.
I would call it that spiced. I mean, like, it kind of throws you for a loop when you taste it because, like, yeah, like you said, once you smell it, you're expecting one thing, but you taste completely another. I mean, I was expecting like the kind of like Christmas ale. Is it Bell's that makes that?
Bell's makes a pretty good Christmas ale.
Yeah.
Actually, Sam Adams makes a really good Christmas ale.
Yeah. That kind of style was what I was expecting.
Yeah,
but this
like
one's kind of
really
like
heavy spice flavor.
This one's kind of threw me for a loop. It's almost kind of
mild.
What?
It's mild.
Mild, yeah. I mean, it's not very spicy, but it's almost kind of like sweet.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
You know?
I would assume there's some sort of fruit in this.
Yeah.
Maybe like a peach.
There's gotta
I kind of
be.
taste a bit of peach.
There's got to be.
There's got to be a lot of fruit in it because you can,
It's got curacao in it. It does say mace. It really does say mace.
M-A-C-E.
Yes, it says mace.
Well, there you go.
He's not lying. It does say mace. But it does have curacao in it, which would give you a slight, like, citrusy fruit flavor.
That makes sense.
So,
okay.
We went through all of them.
Yep.
Let's hit another Gurk.
Gherkin time.
And then we're going to hit the beer of the week.
From last week.
Wait, we need to pick this week.
No. We have to taste this first. Well, no, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
So
we have to pick the beer of the week this week.
Right. I need more Gurks. I gotta go shopping for some more.
Just
Gurks.
take like one bite of this so we can save it for.
Right.
I'm gonna say though, I think that I'm gonna be voting for Nick's beer this week.
Yep.
I
actually like.
I like the way it finishes. That's honestly my favorite part about it is the way that it finishes when you drink it. And my beer just confuses me too much.
I'm gonna vote for my own beer as well because I think it's the most full-bodied of all the beers this week.
I was very saddened early in the podcast when I tried my beer for the first time. I was like, I'm not voting for my own beer because I honestly didn't like it. Not like that I'm not into that kind of style of beer.
Right.
I was just like, oh, this isn't that pleasing. Yeah. Like Nick's, like once I tasted Nick's beer, like I was like, yeah, that's what a good brown ale is supposed to taste like. I feel like my beer, the Leffe brown ale from Belgium or whatever it is, like was kind of lofty in its goals.
Yeah, it's not full bodied.
Yeah.
When you drink a brown ale, like even when you hear the word brown ale, you think of a full bodied,
right?
Like not hitting you hard, but it's just like it's there and you can taste its presence.
It just mine just kind of has this rounded like flavor to it, you know?
Yeah.
It's not
good.
It's not like a crisp
right
bite. And so that was disappointing to me even when I just tried to isolate it earlier on in the podcast. So I'm going to vote for Nick's beer because I liked that brown ale a lot. So
okay.
All right. So we are saying so far that the Sierra Nevada Tumbler is the beer of the week. However,
yes,
it has to compete with last week's beer of the week, which is the Lion Stout from
wow.
From which country again? Because I don't want to get it wrong.
From Sri Lanka. Yeah. Oh boy, here we go.
Wow. It's just wow. It's so smoky.
Smoky. Does it smell smoky? Oh yeah.
So we're all gonna taste this the Lion Stout, and then we're gonna hit a Gurk, and then we're gonna taste the Tumbler one more time.
Oh man. Oh, that's so good.
It is like really good.
Yeah,
but
it is.
I don't want to sound biased towards my own beer, but I don't know. We're gonna hit a Gurk quick.
Yeah, hit the Gurk.
We're gonna tap the Gurk.
I'll finish this Gurk off.
All right, we'll split this one, Luke. All right, you grab it because I can't reach it.
I need to get more Gurks.
Hey, you want some good Gurks?
Yeah, I want good Gurks.
Okay, kosher. Is it? No, Vlasic. Vlasic makes these like farmers market style.
Mm-hmm.
They make bread and butter like crinkle cut Gurks, and they also make dill spears. Honestly, they in their mixed with like peppers and stuff, like sweet peppers. I would never eat another gherkin.
Wait, so which kind specifically? They're
like Vlasic, like farmers market style.
Vlasic, that's the name
like,
of it?
It's like a squared off jar with like a kind of a creamy brown label.
Okay.
I'll send a picture to you.
All right.
My dad and I, we swear by him. That's all we've gotten for the last like month.
All right, I'm gonna get them.
All right. We'll start you off with the Sierra Nevada Tumbler. This is for beer of the week of week 3.
Oh boy. Okay. That's good. Just as good as I remembered it from 2 minutes ago. Oh, this is going to be a tough decision.
It really is. Like, oh man. Ryan, have you made your decision? You got to mull on it a little bit more, because I think we're going to start with you for.
I just got that, but I'm going to take one more
Sure.
drink of the Lion Stout here. This is tough.
Pass me the Lion Stout again, too.
Yes.
I'm actually... yeah, you guys should try the Lion Stout again real quick. Just to...
I have something great to say in the After Hours show about what's on TV. Right
Oh,
now.
by the way, TechBuzzed listeners, we're going to do an After Hours
God.
show where we basically just leave the mics on and keep talking.
And you're going to love it.
And release it
And you're going to love
a
it.
little later. So...
All right. So
Look
we've all
forward to
tasted
that.
both a second time. Ryan.
That Lion Stout.
Radio silence.
That Lion Stout is so good. I vote for Lion Stout again.
Lucas.
It's tough.
I don't like voting here because I feel like I'm the deciding vote. Like,
You're not, though, because I'm seriously as undecided as Ryan was.
Like, personal preferences, I'm not a huge fan of either style of these beers. Like, they both are delicious, though. Like, pulling away from, I'm more of a...
You like lighter beers. You like
I do
blonde
like
ales.
lighter beers.
You like
but,
blonde ales. You like...
Yeah.
Yeah, you like kind of like the spice ale that you brought today.
Yes.
Like, it's a lighter beer, but it's full bodied at the same time.
And the thing that I really appreciate about the Lion Stout is that you taste it and there's like that kind of syrupy, smoky.
It's caramely.
Mm-hmm. There's some amazing flavor in the back of there. But the Sierra Nevada is more of a beer that I could drink more often, because it doesn't want to kick me in the pants quite as bad.
Way to be
but,
PC.
Yeah. But it's just, man, that I can't get the taste of that in a good way. I can't get the taste of the Lion Stout out, really. Like, it's just, it keeps coming back to me, where with the Sierra Nevada, it's really smooth, it's crisp, it cuts off at the end there, and it doesn't really want to kill me. So I don't really know how I want to vote on this. Yeah.
Do you want me to vote?
You can always do
Because
what you can do what I did last week.
I've decided my vote. You can pass it on to me because I've decided my vote.
Please vote.
Well, I have taken both into consideration, and I don't want to be biased.
I feel biased myself.
I don't want to be biased towards my own beer. However, oh my god, I love the Lion Stout, and I think that was I made that very clear in last week's episode. But under the circumstances and the weather we're having, and just like standing outside, I would drink the Sierra Nevada Tumbler. And the fact that I actually know the head brewer at Sierra Nevada, like
Full disclosure.
I've met him a couple times, and he's like the chillest dude in the world. I'm gonna vote for the Tumbler because I've had stouts before, and I've had brown ales before, but a lot of the stouts that I've had have done it the same way that the Lion Stout has done it. They've given it that caramel chocolatey flavor, almost coffee-like.
Right.
I've never tasted a brown ale like Sierra Nevada has done it. This is taking a winter spice ale, kind of like what Lucas brought, and introducing it to a brown ale. And they mesh it perfectly. And I think that's something that really hasn't been done before, or at least I haven't like seen or tasted before. So my vote is for the Tumbler for that fact, because I've had stouts like the Lion Stout. It's not unique as the Sierra Nevada Tumbler. There's just something about this beer, the Tumbler, that it really meshes, and it's honestly like it's perfect for this time of year. It meshes that winter ale where you're integrating clove, nutmeg, allspice with that brown ale that you would drink during late September, early October, kind of like what we had with the Jawjacker, but minus the pumpkin, where it's like a mid to dark ale that has a lot of malty flavors to it, but it's not too dark to where you're like cringing when you drink it.
Right.
But then it has those tones of nutmeg, and it has those tones of allspice and clove. And that's why I'm going to vote for my own beer, the Sierra Nevada Tumbler, because it really brings those two seasons together, those two seasons of beers together, and it's unique. And the Lion Stout is amazing. Don't get me wrong, but it's not unique.
Okay.
Wow.
We're
okay,
split.
this really sucks. Because
I was seriously gonna vote for the Lion Stout, and I took another drink of the Tumbler, and I just knew right there what I was gonna say, and it just like came out of me. Do we need to bleep that?
No. All right,
sucks.
Lucas.
I hate having to vote for this.
Well, it's up to you now. Do you
Will
want to
tell me? What?
Do you want to ride home?
Okay. I went on to beeradvocate.com. Nick,
Oh.
tell me.
No, I don't. What
No,
are you
I'm
gonna
looking
say?
at two different scores.
Okay.
Which score should I take as the official score? The BA score or the Bros?
You should actually take the Bros score, because I'm an avid reader of the homebrewing subreddit, and the beer advocate like proprietor, owner, administrator, founder, whatever you want to call him. He's like, you know what? I don't even care what people think about me. He's a total douche. and the homebrewing subreddit hates this guy. So I'm going to say go with the Bro score. And number 2, because the Bro score is going to be more akin to what you feel. The beer advocate score by their staff is something that only a true beer snob is going to decide. Someone who's tasted a true French Trappist triple ale, who's tasted something brewed by monks, French Trappist monks that have like hundreds of years of brewing tradition, can choose. So I think you should go with the bros vote on this. But that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Ryan, I don't know
I mean,
how you feel on that, but I feel like you should go with the bros because that's more akin to what you would decide.
I think I
Because
agree.
you're not a beer advocate staff.
Yeah.
And I hate to be mean, but you never will be.
You dick. No, this is killing me because, like, the Lion Stout wins in the beer advocate score, but the Sierra Nevada wins in the pros score. And
I keep in mind, now that you've kind of spoiled it, I have not seen these scores, and you guys can look at my screen right now.
Yeah.
I haven't touched my laptop in a while. I'm looking at the show notes.
well, that's the thing
I
is
didn't-
the Sierra
I did
Nevada.
I
don't
did
know
not
what they are
research
either.
this previously.
Sierra Nevada wins by a lot actually on the bros score, where it's only I think 2 or 3 points behind on the BA score. And I'm using this as my differentiator just because, like, I feel kind of bad voting for my own beer.
You know, I'm really surprised this has gone as long as it has.
I'm sorry. It's like
Yeah,
that Lion Stout, it wows me. Like, you taste it and it kind of is just like that syrupy, and since I don't have a ton of stouts, I don't have the effect of, oh, it's just another stout. Ooh, it tastes like coffee.
Which is it's tough on your part.
Yeah.
You don't drink a lot of stouts.
I don't drink a lot of stouts. But
And you know what? I wanna make this clear. When you drink Guinness, don't think of it as a stout.
Oh, I don't.
Please,
No.
please, never do, because it is not. It is a light beer, and I don't care what color it is. It's a light beer. And when you drink a real stout, call me.
No. Yeah.
And again, not again,
No.
but not to sound like a beer snob, but when you drink a real stout, call me.
I mean, Guinness. It's in a different class.
I drink Guinness like water.
It's in a different category.
It's an
you know?
it's an easy drinking beer, and it is actually classified as a light beer.
There you go. Despite how dark it is,
It is actually classified as a light beer.
right. Exactly.
Now, if you drink Guinness Extra Stout,
different story.
that is a different story.
Right. So
Lucas.
Lucas.
It's. I mean, we
Okay,
gotta.
what will
we
I
need
pre-
an answer.
okay, I'm gonna say right now.
let me say real quick. I throw my feelings out the window once I introduce my beer to the people. I'm just
Same
like,
here. Yeah.
I'm just like, it's that beer. It's here. It's representing itself, and I don't care whether or not I brought it.
The
It's just here.
the only thing I care about when we do beer of the week is if I can find a new good tasting beer.
right?
That's
exactly.
It. That's it. That's the only thing I care about.
I can tell you
is if I can say two reasons. If I can say I just found a new great tasting beer, and number two, when someone goes, "Hey, have you tried this beer before?" I can go, "Hell yeah, I did."
I can tell you for sure. I'm not buying my beer I brought today again.
Yeah.
Because it's just like I was like,
I'm not buying the one I brought either, but
I will buy the one I brought every fall.
It was good.
I've made my decision. I'm sorry, Nick.
Oh.
I'm voting for the Lion Stout.
Oh, all right.
It's
And I'm not upset at all by that decision because
Like-
Lion Stout is a great beer.
Yeah.
God, it's just I don't know if maybe it's because I had it. I drank it.
It's because
First-
it's your beer, you douche.
Yeah, that's because my beer. No, but like there's just something about it. Just it. I don't know. It got me. It's not my style of beer. But it's got more depth to it. I like the taste. I like the thickness of it. And since I don't have a ton of stouts, I'm not bored of it yet.
You know, actually, this brings up a really good point that I came across today when I was purchasing my beer. I went to the lager mill in Frankenmuth, and there happens to be a new employee there, a really cute Asian girl.
We hope you're listening.
I actually do hope you're listening because you're a cute Asian girl, and I bought Sierra Nevada Tumbler off of you today. And we talked for a while. And I asked you if you had the Lion Stout still in stock. And you said yes. And then you went on to tell me about the Lion Stout, even though I had already drank it. But I let you continue.
Well,
and
hello.
I'm gonna let you
and you brought up an excellent point, which actually made me, before I even tasted my beer, reconsider voting for my own beer.
Oh.
The Lion Stout, and oh my god, this girl is like is awesome just for saying this. The Lion Stout is a sipping beer. Like you would sip a good this is a quote from her mouth. The Lion Stout is a good sipping beer in the sense that you would sip a good bourbon. It's not a beer that you throw back and just pound down, which, you know what, none of the beers we brought today are that, but especially the Lion Stout is that, like, that higher class of beer where you pour yourself a pint of it and you can sip it for a while, and if it gets warm, it gets warm. It doesn't matter. And that's the great thing about good beers. And this is why I try to push everyone towards drinking good beer. Yeah. Because if you drink a Busch Light warm, it's gonna taste like you urinated in a can.
You want to hang yourself.
But when you drink a good craft brew or a good macro brew, and it's room temperature, it doesn't matter. No. Because you know what? It's gonna taste the damn same.
All right.
I think we're gonna cut to another music break.
But basically, hey folks.
Hey, the Lion Stout, 2 weeks running.
Yeah.
Yay.
Congratulations to Lucas Ritter. And I'm not in last place this week. Woo!
All right.
I'm not going to swear like I did last week because I guess that wasn't cool.
Lucas, what do you have to say?
Yay.
Yeah.
You know what I have to say about being in second place?
No.
And not being in last place for the third week in a row?
What do you have to say?
Ryan, do you have your hand on the M key?
Yep, I've got it.
Yeah, motherfuckers.
Oh, we definitely peaked those microphones there. All right, folks, we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Music messages.
We're going to close the bad boy out here. TechBuzzed episode 3. You can find me on Twitter at Nick_Smock.
You can find me, Ryan Spletzer, on Twitter at Ryan Spletzer.
You can find me, Lucas Ritter, at Twitter at Depresso is Cool. It's DEPRESSOISCOOL.
And if you're looking for the MP3 versions of our podcast, you can find us at techbuzzed.libsyn.com. That's TechBuzzed.libsyn.com. We are also on Twitter at twitter.com/techbuzzed. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/techbuzzed. And if you're looking to email questions to us, you can find us at techbuzzedpodcast@gmail.com. and youtube.com/techbuzzpodcast. So feel free to email your questions to us or post them on our Facebook wall or tweet at us if you can get that question under 140 characters. And we will see you next week. Thank you for listening and have a great week.